All right, today we're going to break down this single, absolutely electrifying scene. It is a total masterclass in character dynamics. So if you're in a book club, or you just really love getting into what makes characters tick, you are in for a treat. We are going to dive deep into what happens when an immovable object meets an unstoppable force, all inside this perfect little gilded cage.
So this is the big question, right? This is the core of what we're looking at today. What actually happens when you take a perfectly controlled system, this little world with its own super rigid rules, and you introduce someone who just flat out refuses to play along? It's a classic setup in literature for sure, but the way it's done here, that's what makes it so good.
Okay, first things first, let's really set the stage. Before our variable shows up, Music Room 3 isn't just a room. Oh no, it is a carefully engineered reality. I mean, everything from the air they breathe to the way people talk to each other is designed to create this specific, almost overwhelming experience. The text just nails this with the description, cloying thicket. Think about that. It's not just sweet, it's suffocatingly sweet. Totally on purpose. This tells you right away this isn't a real place. It's a performance, a painstakingly constructed fantasy, a gilded cage for sure.
And then she walks in. The text calls her a glitch in their carefully curated aesthetic, and honestly, that is the perfect description. She doesn't just enter the room, her very existence is a disruption. She's like a crack in the flawless, shiny facade of this whole manufactured world.
Let's break down her presence, because every single detail about her is designed to just scream defiance. In a world of soft pastels, her uniform is this sharp onyx silk. She's wearing a blindfold. But, and get this, she moves flawlessly, thanks to some kind of haptic tech on her wrist. She's a walking contradiction, you know? A mystery that immediately makes you go, okay, what is her deal?
So faced with this complete anomaly, what do the club members do? Well, they immediately try to do what they always do, categorize her. They try to fit her into one of their neat little boxes. But, as we're about to see, their attempts to define her actually end up revealing a whole lot more about them.
First up to the plate is Tamaki Suoh, the self-proclaimed king, and his reaction is just pure theater. He doesn't see a person standing in front of him, he sees a new character that he can cast in his own personal melodrama.
I mean, listen to that. It's so over the top. He immediately cast her as this tragic figure, a fallen star. His response isn't about trying to understand who she is at all. It's about casting himself in the role of the hero, the guy who's going to swoop in and save her from a darkness he completely made up in his head.
So this label he gives her, the tragic princess, it has absolutely nothing to do with her reality. It's a role created just to satisfy his own need to be a hero. He needs a damsel to save, so poof, he just invents one. Now let's pivot to a completely different, and maybe even more chilling way of seeing her.
Right, so if Tamaki's world is a stage play, then Kyoya Otori's world is a financial ledger. His reaction is the total opposite of Tamaki's, but it's just as wrong. It is cold, it's analytical, and it's focused on one thing and one thing only: profit.
Okay, this is chilling, isn't it? Chart the orbit of your soul and price your every thorn. Kyoya literally reduces her entire being to something that can be analyzed, packaged up, and then sold. To him, she's not a person to be understood, she's a resource to be exploited.
And that's how we get his label for her, the onyx thorn. He's already packaged and branded her in his mind, defining her as a marketable subvariant. He thinks he solved the puzzle, but really, all he's done is slap a price tag on a total enigma.
So let's put it all together. We have these three completely flawed perceptions. Tamaki is trying to rescue a princess who doesn't even exist. Kyoya is trying to sell a product that he can't possibly quantify, and then you have the twins who just see a costume and try to provoke a reaction, to peel back her layers without any respect for the actual person underneath. And all of them, they are completely, utterly wrong.
But here's the thing about this variable. She's not passive. She is not a character just waiting around to be written, and she is definitely not a product waiting to be sold. And this is the moment the whole dynamic shatters. This is where she grabs the pen and starts writing her own story. Her first move is physical. When the twins try to mess with her blindfold, she reacts with the speed and precision of a predator. And with this one line, she flips the entire power dynamic on its head. They see themselves as the wolves, the ones in control, but she reminds them, hey, you can be the prey too.
Her verbal comeback is just as devastating and just as surgically precise. She doesn't just lash out wildly, she systematically dismantles their entire worldviews, one by one. Let's look at how she does it. Boom. With that, she just invalidates both of their realities in a single breath. She calls Tamaki's poetry exactly what it is, a gilded cage. And then she dismisses Kyoya's ledger as pure fantasy, calling it a map of a world that doesn't exist. She sees right through their systems and just rejects them, completely.
And here it is. This is her core declaration. She explicitly rejects every label they've tried to put on her. She's not a princess. She's not a type. She defines herself not by what she is, but by what she is to them, an unsolvable problem, the one variable that breaks their entire equation. It is such a powerful moment of self-definition.
And finally, she leaves them with this absolutely chilling warning. She's not just rejecting their control anymore. She is actively threatening to bring their entire constructed reality crashing down around them. She's positioning herself as a direct threat to the very foundation of their hollow theater. And with that, she's gone. But her impact just hangs in the air, you know? It leaves this profound silence behind her. The gilded cage has been rattled, and its carefully controlled environment has been, well, irrevocably disrupted.
What a powerful closing image. Her departure isn't quiet or subtle, it's described as the aftermath of an explosion. She has fundamentally changed the landscape of their world, and now she's left its inhabitants to try and figure out how to pick up the pieces.
And so, this is where we're left. This scene forces these established archetypes, the prince, the strategist, the jesters, to confront a reality that they just cannot solve. It's such a fantastic question for a book club discussion. Is the purpose of a character like this to actually change the world around them, or is it just to reveal that world for what it truly is? Definitely something worth debating. Thanks for joining me for this breakdown.